Every time you complain about that heavy concrete block feeling in your calves, or those ice-cold toes that just won't warm up under the blankets, somebody tells you to take magnesium, your friends recommend it, your pharmacist has a whole aisle dedicated to it, even your doctor probably wrote it down on a sticky note at your last physical. And let me be absolutely clear right at the start. Magnesium is a fantastic mineral. It relaxes muscle fibers, and I am not telling you to throw your bottle away. But if you are over the age of 60 and your absolute biggest daily struggle is poor leg circulation, if you are dealing with a dull, throbbing ache in your shins, ankles that swell up like balloons by 4 p.m., skin on your lower legs that looks thin and shiny, or cramping that strikes like lightning in the middle of the night, then treating your vascular system with just magnesium is like trying to fix a faulty car engine by simply changing the tires. You are missing the core biological machinery that actually pumps, pushes, and pulls blood through your lower extremities. I am a dedicated nutritional researcher and longevity specialist, and today we are going to bypass the generic advice that is keeping you stuck in a cycle of pain and frustration. We are going to look at what modern vascular science actually says about reversing age-related circulation decline. Today, I am revealing the precise biological tools that restore blood flow to aging legs. There is one specific compound, a biological spark plug, if you will, that sits at the exact center of this vascular protocol. It is currently the subject of intense fascination in longevity research. I want to tell you about a fascinating double-blind, placebo-controlled trial conducted by European vascular researchers. They took a group of seniors, all of whom had severely impaired peripheral circulation, meaning their legs were essentially starving for oxygen-rich blood. After introducing a targeted daily dose of this single, specific compound, the subjects didn't just feel a little better. Their measured endothelial function, the actual physical health of their blood vessel walls, surged. Symptom scores for coldness, cramping, and walking pain plummeted by over 40%. You probably assume I'm going to say it's fish oil or maybe beetroot powder. It is neither. The number one nutrient on our list today is something your body was designed to make entirely on its own. The problem? By the time you hit your 65th birthday, your body's natural production of this compound has crashed by up to 60%. Your legs are quite literally running on an empty tank, and standard medical tests will completely miss it. I will reveal exactly what this is, the specific form you need to take, and why millions of seniors are accidentally blocking it with their daily prescriptions when we hit the number one spot. But before we start our countdown, I want to hear directly from you. We have a thriving, intelligent community on this channel, and your experiences matter. Drop a comment below right now and tell me, how old are you, and what is the absolute worst time of day for your leg circulation? Is it the heavy swelling in the late afternoon or the sharp cramps at 2 a.m.? Put it in the comments. I read them all, and it helps me design the exact videos you need next. Let's begin our countdown from number 5 down to the life-changing number 1. Number 5 on the list is a vitamin you have in your kitchen right now, but you are almost certainly using it wrong. People think of it for winter sniffles, but vascular cardiologists think of it as the ultimate biological scaffolding. It is vitamin C. To understand why this matters for your legs, you have to stop thinking of your blood vessels as rigid metal plumbing pipes. They are not. They are living, breathing, elastic tubes made heavily out of two proteins, collagen and elastin. When you are 20 years old, these vessels expand and snap back effortlessly, pumping blood all the way down to your toes and fighting gravity to push it back up to your heart. But as you cross into your 60s, your collagen production drops off a cliff. Without new collagen, your blood vessels become stiff, brittle, and narrow. They turn from flexible rubber hoses into hard, unyielding PVC pipes. Vitamin C is the absolute non-negotiable prerequisite for your body to manufacture vascular collagen. Without high levels of circulating vitamin C, the enzymes that knit your blood vessels together simply go to sleep. A major study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that older adults with the highest plasma vitamin C levels had dramatically lower risks of peripheral arterial stiffness. But here is where everyone gets it wrong. Taking a massive 1,000 milligram pill of cheap ascorbic acid once a day does not work. Your body flushes out the excess in hours. For vascular repair, you need steady, all-day absorption. The protocol is 500 milligrams of liposomal vitamin C, which is wrapped in fat for maximum cellular uptake, taken twice a day, morning and night. and here is your synergy pairing: citrus bioflavonoids, specifically compounds called rutin and hesperidin. These plant compounds act as a biological shield, protecting the vitamin C from oxidizing before it can reach your leg arteries. Look for a vitamin C complex that includes bioflavonoids for maximum vessel elasticity. Moving to number 4. This is the vitamin that acts as the ultimate street sweeper for your circulatory system. It is vitamin K2, specifically in the form of MK7. If you have poor circulation in your legs, one of the primary culprits is a silent process called vascular calcification. As you age, the calcium that is supposed to be fortifying your teeth and your skeleton gets lost. It ends up floating through your bloodstream and embedding itself into the inner lining of your leg arteries. It literally forms a crust. Imagine looking inside an old, neglected water pipe that is choked with hardened limescale. That is what calcium does to your blood vessels, shrinking the pathway for blood to reach your calves and feet. Vitamin K to MK7 activates a very specific protein in your body called matrix glop protein, or MGP. Think of MGP as a biological traffic cop. When it gets activated by K2, it actively pulls that misdirected calcium out of your arterial walls, effectively sweeping the plaque away and shuttling that calcium back into your bones. Where it belongs, the Rotterdam study, a massive trial observing over 4,800 subjects for a decade, found that high dietary intake of vitamin K2 was associated with a staggering 52% reduction in severe arterial calcification. My own uncle Arthur, who is 73, used to love tending to his garden, but he developed claudication, a severe cramping in his calves whenever he walked for more than 10 minutes. It was caused by hardened, narrowed arteries. We started him on 180 micrograms of vitamin K to MK7 every single day. Within 3 months, the agonizing tightness in his calves began to dissipate. He is now back to spending hours in his garden, completely pain-free. The clinical dose is 100 to 200 micrograms of K2MK7 daily. Because it is a fat-soluble vitamin, your synergy pairing is to take it alongside a healthy dietary fat like an omega-3 fish oil capsule or simply a meal cooked with olive oil or avocado. If you take K2 on a completely empty stomach, it will pass right through you without absorbing. Before we dive into the top 3, including the absolute powerhouse waiting at number 1, I have a small favor to ask. If you are tired of the superficial 5-minute doctor visits where you are just handed a pamphlet on compression socks, and you appreciate this kind of deep, actionable, science-based truth, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. It costs you absolutely nothing. It takes half a second, but it tells the YouTube algorithm that seniors deserve high-quality medical research, not just generic fluff. Thank you for doing that. Now let's get back to the protocol. Number 3 is a vitamin that literally forces your blood vessels to open up, and its effects are so rapid you can actually feel it working within 20 minutes. I am talking about vitamin B3, universally known as niacin. If you want blood to rush down into your cold, aching legs, you need your blood vessels to physically dilate. Your body triggers this dilation using a miracle molecule called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the command signal that tells the smooth muscles around your arteries to relax, but just like everything else, your natural nitric oxide production plummets as you age. By age 70, you are operating on a fraction of the nitric oxide you had at age 30. Niacin is one of the most potent natural stimulators of nitric oxide in the human body. When you take immediate-release niacin, it floods the endothelial cells, the inner lining of your blood vessels, and forces them to release a wave of nitric oxide. The highways open up, the blockages are bypassed, blood rushes into the microscopic capillaries of your toes and calves. Now, I must warn you about something called the niacin flush. About 20 minutes after taking it, your skin may become warm, tingly, and red. Many seniors panic and throw the bottle away, thinking they are having an allergic reaction. Listen to me very closely. This is not an allergy. This flush is the physical, undeniable proof that your microcapillaries are aggressively opening up and filling with fresh, oxygenated blood. It is exactly what you want. The flush diminishes after a few days of consistent use. To use niacin safely and effectively for circulation, you must start low and slow. Begin with just 50 milligrams of immediate-release niacin with dinner. Gradually work your way up to 500 milligrams over the course of a month. Your synergy pairing for niacin is folate or vitamin B9. Niacin uses up a lot of the body's Methyl groups to process, so pairing it with a high-quality, methylated B-complex ensures your cellular chemistry remains perfectly balanced while your blood vessels stay wide open. Coming in at number 2 is the ultimate inflammation extinguisher. It is a vitamin that an estimated 70–80% of seniors are completely deficient in, and that deficiency is secretly ravaging the blood vessels in your legs. It is vitamin D3. Most people know D3 for bone health or immunity, but vascular researchers view D3 entirely differently. The inner walls of your blood vessels have specific D3 receptors scattered all over them. Why? Because vitamin D3 is the master regulator of vascular inflammation. When you have poor circulation, your blood vessels aren't just stiff. They are often chronically inflamed. They are angry, swollen on the inside, and constantly irritated by free radicals. This inflammation causes the vessel walls to thicken, choking off the blood supply to your lower limbs. When your blood is saturated with optimal levels of vitamin D3, it binds to those receptors and acts like a cool bucket of water on a roaring fire. It signals the DNA in your vascular cells to turn off the inflammatory response. A landmark study from Emory University showed a direct, undeniable correlation as vitamin D levels dropped. In older adults, the stiffness and dysfunction of their blood vessels dramatically increased. If you are over 65, taking 1,000 IUs of vitamin D3 is virtually useless. Aging skin loses its ability to synthesize D3 from sunlight efficiently. The clinical target for vascular health is usually between 4,000 and 5,000 IUs daily, but you should always confirm this with a simple 25-hydroxy. Vitamin D blood test. You want your blood levels between 50 and 70 nanograms per milliliter. And here is where our old friend magnesium finally enters the chat. This is your number 2 synergy pairing. You see, vitamin D3 cannot convert into its active, usable form in the kidneys without magnesium. Magnesium is the ignition key that turns the vitamin D3 engine on. Taking massive doses of D3 without magnesium is entirely pointless because it will just remain dormant in your blood. So yes, take your magnesium, but take it to activate your D3, which will then put out the fire in your leg arteries. And finally, we have arrived at number 1, the holy grail of vascular rejuvenation, the compound your body once made in abundance, which has now slowed to a tragic trickle, the ultimate spark plug for the cells in your legs, coenzyme Q10, specifically in the form of ubiquinol. To understand why CoQ10 is the king of leg circulation, we have to look microscopically at the cells that line your blood vessels. Inside every single one of those cells are tiny power plants called mitochondria. Their entire job is to generate the biological electricity needed to keep your arteries flexible, to produce nitric oxide, and to pump blood efficiently. But mitochondria cannot generate a single drop of energy without CoQ10. It is the essential catalyst. When you were 25, your vascular mitochondria were overflowing with CoQ10, but after the age of 60, your natural production plummets dramatically. Without CoQ10, the mitochondria in your blood vessels begin to sputter and stall. The cells literally run out of energy. The arteries become sluggish, weak, and incapable of pushing blood down into your feet and pulling it back up. Your legs feel heavy and exhausted because at a cellular level they are suffocating. Here is the most critical warning of this entire video. If you are taking a statin drug for your cholesterol, and millions of seniors with poor circulation are, you must listen to this. Statins lower cholesterol by blocking a specific pathway in the liver. Unfortunately, that exact same pathway is what your body uses to manufacture CoQ10. Statin drugs effectively shut down your body's CoQ10 factory. This is why the number 1 side effect of statin drugs is heavy, aching, cramping muscles in the legs. You are being artificially depleted of the very molecule that gives your vascular system power. You must supplement to fill the void, but do not buy cheap CoQ10, which is sold as ubiquinone. Aging bodies cannot convert it. You must look for the pre-converted, highly active form called ubiquinol. The therapeutic dose for restoring vascular energy is 200 milligrams of ubiquinol taken daily with your fattiest meal, as it is highly fat-soluble. Your number 1 synergy pairing is an amino acid called L-carnitine. If CoQ10 is the spark plug for the mitochondrial engine, L-carnitine is the fuel pump. It shuttles fatty acids directly into the mitochondria so the CoQ10 can burn them for massive amounts of vascular energy. Together, ubiquinol and L-carnitine form an unstoppable biological team for restoring strength, warmth, and vitality to your legs. Please hear me when I say this. Aging is a natural privilege, but suffering is entirely optional. Your legs are not aching, cramping, and freezing simply because you have a few gray hairs. They are struggling because they are missing the raw, structural materials they need to do their job. Once you provide the scaffolding with vitamin C, clear the pipes with K2, open the pathways with niacin, soothe the inflammation with D3, and power the engine with ubiquinol, you give your body exactly what it needs to heal itself. Print this information out, write down these specific forms and dosages. Take them to your next doctor's appointment and advocate for your own health. You are the CEO of your own body, and you have the right to feel vibrant and pain-free from head to toe. If this video brought you value, please share it with a friend or family member who is constantly rubbing their aching calves or wearing double layers of socks to bed. Hit that subscribe button so we can continue to bring you the unfiltered, scientific truth about longevity and wellness. And don't forget to leave your age and your biggest circulation symptom in the comments below. I am actively reading them, and I cannot wait to see your journey to better health. Until next time, stay informed, stay proactive, and take care of your amazing body.